What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Fightin's Final here on It's a Rap Sports Network. I'm Big Al, bringing you your Friday night, I guess a little bit Saturday morning baseball breakdown here for you. And a lot of the same old dance here with the Phillies, not coming up big when necessary for with runners in scoring position, wasting another pitching performance by one of our stellar starting pitching. Ranger Suarez, outside of a clunky third inning, with some errors being made. It was kind of a series of errors that caused a lot of the third inning. You take that away, he had a great, pretty much another great starting out, a great outing. Phillies had another chance with loaded bases, one man out, and still couldn't get anybody across. Just same story, and this All-Star break couldn't come any faster. Team definitely needs a reset in some ways, but at the same time, also changes need to be made. And certain guys, the experiment to me is over in some ways, and Max Kepler might be one of those guys in my eyes. Where I've had enough. 4-2 loss in San Diego, another West Coast trip. So thank you for staying up late with me tonight. I'll be here to take your comments. I'll be here to talk with you, get you through this one. They have 2 more games, so they still have a chance to take the series, of course, and get to the All-Star break with maybe with a win, with a series win, and time to reset. I mean, look at Zach Wheeler has an opportunity to be an All-Star, pitch in the All-Star game. He goes, "No, I'm getting my body ready. I'm resting." There's a bigger prize at hand, which is good to see. Some people question leadership in the locker room, and that to me is leading by example. So 2-4 loss for the Phillies. Phillies are 54-40. Padres are 51-43. Still leading the NL East right now. Joe Hale, what's going on? Horrible loss. I mean, no, listen, no loss is good. It's not even a horrible loss anymore. It's typical. It's typical of the Phillies. It's typical of the way it went down. It's just typical, and I hate using that term, but it is typical that they had opportunities to at least tie the game. Now, granted, Luzardo let up that home run to Machado early, right to start off the bottom of the 8th, and if they scored, they tied the game, they would have lost still nonetheless. But this offense, outside of again a couple solo shots, really couldn't come up with much. They didn't have a lot of opportunities with runners in scoring position, and then when they did, they just blew it. Absolutely, positively blew it, and it's tough. It's tough to watch. Now, I'm not telling you this team sucks and they can't win you a World Series and I'm championship DNA in them. They do. They really do. It's longevity, but it's they need some change. They need some fresh blood. They need to get off some of these guys, because right now I'm keeping my eye on the Mets are up 8-3 in the against Kansas City, the bottom of the 9th, so that's coming to an end. So they're going to have that W tonight. There's a lot of, I mean, I know it's still a little early for scoreboard watching and standings watching, but it's something to worry about because there's nobody really running away with with any of these divisions, with any of these National League, American leagues. It's so, but there's also a lot of good teams bidding. So if you don't win your division, there's no guarantee after that. So that's another piece to look at here. But let's go through some of these box scores real quick, guys. Trey Turner was 0 for 2 tonight with 2 walks. Kyle Schwarber was 1 for 3 with 1 run. The RBI, which was with a 1 walk and a strikeout. We're gonna go talk about Schwarber's home run 2 in a moment. Bryce Harper was 1 for 4 tonight with 2 strikeouts. Bohm 1 for 4 tonight with 1 strikeout. Nick Castellanos was 1 for 4 with a run scored, an RBI, and of course 2 strikeouts. Max Kepler was a big 0 for tonight with a walk, 0 for 3 with a walk. Remuto was 1 for 4 tonight with 2 strikeouts. Stott was 0 for 4 again tonight with a strikeout. And Brandon Marsh was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. And that brings us to total tonight 32 at bats, gives you only 2 runs scored off of 5 measly hits, 2 RBIs, 4 walks, and 11 strikeouts. So that is your box score for your Phillies. But let's talk about the pitching, because in my eyes, that's the big thing. I mean, there was 3 runs scored, and through all 3 of them came in that third inning. Um, you know, 6-2. So I mean, 6 2/3 innings for Ranger, 6 hits allowed, but 3 runs allowed, 1 error, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Still on a sub-2 ERA of 1.94. Banks was put up a bunch of zeros tonight, so that was great. Lazar unfortunately had that one mistake to Machado, which gives him his 100th regular season home run at Petco. So Lazar was 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earn. All of course, earn, which was that home run. They were 7 hits, which wasn't much more than we had, but they were able to capitalize off of those errors and those issues for 4 runs. Two of those 4 runs were earned. So mistakes bit them in the ass big time tonight. And that gives you 3 walks, 5 Ks, and just that 1 home run. But yeah, Star Wars, 2 home runs was not good. Well, 2 home runs is good for me, except there's nobody on the base, so they're 2 solo shots. But it's runners in scoring position. Star Wars. I could care less about home runs with this team. We've seen that. We've seen that song and dance before with the home runs. We've seen them do that. Year in and year out, where they can slug them or they can be cold as ice. I prefer this team to play small ball. I really do prefer this team. Hey, the home runs will come. I mean, it's funny, the Nick Castellanos one didn't even seem like a home run off the bat. I mean, Schwarber's was a no doubter in my eyes, but uh, his Castellanos home run, um, that to me was one of those thank you very much type of home runs. Well, half the game up because of the Mets one. Yeah, so we're half a game now. Yeah, so it's final. I said at the moment we were 1 game up. It's a half a game up now that went final. So yes, thank you, Star Wars. But like I said, another wasted pitching performance. 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. 7 men left on base versus 2 for 8 for. I mean, it's much better, but about the same percentage. But 2 for 8 for the Padres, and they left 5 guys on. But these are the kind of things that are going to haunt teams in losses. And this All-Star break's coming up, and I think it's well needed. I think the guys need to some guys need to reset, and some guys need to be sent out. Like I said, there's just certain guys who I'm over. I'm over the experiment. And I really like the Max Kepler signing. I had high hopes on him. I thought he was kind of a high reward kind of guy. We know what he was capable of in the past. A little injury laden over the last season, and then maybe, just maybe, he could pull something together, but he didn't. Of course, so that laid, and it's just there. This is the time now. We need to bring Crawford up, or you need to bring some guys in. And why do we have to keep waiting? Just start making the trades. Like, just start making the trades. If you're gonna pull that Band-Aid, pull the Band-Aid off. I don't think the value of any guy is going to go up or down more at this point. So you're what, a little more 2.5 weeks out, close to 3 weeks left before the trade deadline anyway. So at this point, it's like, make the changes. Let guys come. I'd rather have an extra 2 to 3 weeks with these guys, allow them to get adjusted. Like, that's what I would prefer. But let's look at the scoring. So, it started 1-0. Phillies with Nick Castellanos, that solo home run to center field. Like I said, that was a thank you very much home run. Then the bottom of the second, Jose Iglesias doubles on a line drive to right field and scores Xander Bogart, and then Jackson Merle moves over to third. But that wasn't the end of it. Luis Diaz grounds out short to Trey Turner. Jackson Merle scores Jose Iglesias to third. Now it's 2 outs, but 2-1 San Diego. And then Fernando Tatis singles on a line drive to center field towards Brandon Marsh and scores Jose Iglesias, making it 3-1 And that's why I would stay into the third inning with Kyle Schwarber's 30th home run of the season. The fly right to right center field. I mean, the funny thing is when the guys are hitting home runs, they're hitting them to like the deepest parts of of fields. They're not hitting those very much, easier, the Utley corners, those kind of moments. And then the bottom of the eighth, Manny Machado homers for his 17th of the season to right field off Max Luzardo, and that gives you your final score of 4-2. Not a exciting night, not the greatest Friday night game, let alone Friday. Because I always tell you, that's why I kind of chose Friday nights. I like them. You're getting done for the week for work. You want to chill out. You want to grab a nice glass of bourbon. Maybe get a nice slice of pizza or it's like a cheesesteak or something. Just kind of a relaxing night. Now, these late games make them a little harder because now it's 9:40, 9:45, and you want to relax. But you might be a little too relaxed by that point. And then the worst case scenario is when you have these kind of slow, arduous games that there's really no action going on. And it's kind of, again, story of their life. They took too many stick and swings at the ball in the dirt. Too many stinking swings at the ball. I know what you're trying to say. So what you're saying is they're swinging balls in the dirt, and they were. I mean, listen, there's a little deception on the movements from Begert, and he had he was able to throw guys off. I mean, that's what his starting pitching does, but he didn't go very far. Like they saw the damage happening. They pulled him after 4 2/3 inning. They didn't want Schwarber to go up against them, and they were able to go in their bullpen. So maybe the only plus is they had to use like 3 more bullpen pieces. And even Adam went I think he threw like 30 pitches tonight. Let's see. I'll tell you right now. Yeah, 31 pitches. Everybody else was under 15, so that's good. Except for Begert, he was 82 pitches. Lazar threw 16 pitches. Banks only had to throw 2 pitches. And Suarez threw 96 pitches and still went 6 2/3. And he looked like he wanted to stay in, and then I don't blame him. I mean, I don't blame him wanting to. I like the competitiveness of this. I like how the guys want to stay in and play, but they're being smart too. Like I said, this is the time of the year where you gotta you gotta be a little bit smarter about what you do. You don't want guys to overdo it and throw their arms out and do things that's going to hurt them for, that kind of stuff. They just don't want to. You don't want to see silliness this time of the season because now if you get hurt and you're out for 6 weeks or so, now you're getting into a big chunk of the season. We got to be better. I mean, Star Wars. I mean, can't make it more simpler than that. We got to be better. And do you want Star Wars? Because of that, you're going to bring in the Broad Street bottom line. All right, guys. Broad Street Bottom Line is brought to you by the great people here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network, including Pat Bernard and Steve Fuentes, however you want to say his name right. Attacking third is all about your Philadelphia Union. So check it out Thursday nights at 9:00. So check out It's a Wrap or the Wrap Around with Pat Bernard. Except if you tonight, it was with our boy Mike Lauro. And speaking of Mike Lauro and Pat, this Sunday morning, PM and the AM, Philly sports won't be the same again or ever be the same again with these two knuckleheads. Of course, me behind the control board here. And then, of course, every Sunday through Thursday, the final word with Matty B starting at 10 p.m., bringing you all the excitement of the Philly Sports Day. And don't forget Sundays down on the farm with Matty B. And for those who are keeping track, tonight is Friday, so you got me, and then you got Matty B for tomorrow and Sunday. So you got an overload of the Matty B. So enjoy. I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. So like I said, I'm going to let Star Wars take this, and I'm going to simplify my bottom line. And bottom line is, yeah, they got to be better, and they got to take this All-Star break and recalibrate, if you want to call that, or just kind of refocus and work on resting a little bit, but work on the areas that they need to work on, and the back office needs to work on making the right changes and bringing the right personnel that complements this team, not just another big bat. You know what I mean? A couple good arms for the bullpen, and I would like to see a guy who can pray and spray, hit singles and doubles to opposite fields, whatever they have to do. I don't need a 40 home run kind of guy. I want a guy who's going to get the ball and play and move guys around the base. When these guys play small ball, this team wins, and like handedly. Like that's the difference. If you go back and look at games where they handedly won games, or they were struggling but they were able to manufacture runs. That's what this team does best. And it's like it doesn't have to be always struggle fest, swing for the fences every time. But things have to get better in Star Wars. Again, I'm going to let you're taking this is your bottom line tonight. This is the Star Wars 99 bottom line tonight. And bases of left runners in scoring position. Matty B is all over it. And I disagree with him in certain areas a lot, but I can't disagree with runners in scoring position. And again, it's about worrying about home runs. I'm worrying about just getting the ball in play. Like ultimately, that's it. Now listen, nobody wants a West Coast game. We have to stay up to midnight or later to watch a Phillies game, and then of course hear me, ramble on more and more and more. But that is your bottom line. Like this team needs to get better, and they need to start with this All-Star break. Really, that's what has to happen. They need to start with this All-Star break, and that's it. So real quick, guys, let's jump over from here, of course, at the Broad Street bottom line to taking a lap around the bases. All right, guys, let's look at your MLB scores from the day. Guardians beat the White Sox 4-2. Marlins dropped to the Orioles 5-2. Yankees just spanked the Cubs 11-0. Rockies squeak one out against the Reds 3-2. Mariners bludgeoned the Tigers 12-3. Red Sox squeaked one out against the Rays 5-4. Rangers beat the Astros 7-3. Twins beat the Pirates 2-1. Brewers 8-3 over the Nats. White Sox 5-4 over the Guardians. Oh, they have a doubleheader today. I didn't notice that. I did not know that. I guess they were making up for something. Mets were, of course, won 8-3 over the Royals. We talked about that earlier. Braves beat the Cardinals 6-5. Diamondbacks are right now tied in the bottom of the eighth, 5-5. Phillies, of course, are ended at 4-2. Blue Jays and Athletics are still ongoing, 7-3. Blue Jays top of the eighth. And Dodgers are down 6-8 to the Giants in the the seventh inning right now. And again, it's all about the standings here. And I know it's a little early, but it's not too early to keep peeking in. We're half a game over the Mets. We're 11 and a half games over the Marlins, 12 and a half games over the Braves, and 16 games over the Nationals. Now, outside the Mets, that's a nice, decent lead right now, but that can dwindle and dwindle fast, especially the Marlins and the Braves decide to get hot for a nice game stretch and we go cold coming out of this All-Star break. So these are things you got to keep your eye on. Cubbies are still top of the National League, with the Brewers right behind them at one game behind. Cardinals are 5.5 games behind. Reds are 7.5 games behind. The Pirates are all the way, at 17.5 games behind. In this, again, the National League West is very tight. Dodgers are 5 games ahead of the Padres and the Giants, 10 games ahead of the Diamondbacks, and 34 whopping games above the Rockies, who have a 22 and 72. It's disgusting. But again, if you look at each winning team, top of the league, so we're winning 574 winning percentage. The Cubs have a 585 winning percentage, and the Dodgers are 596. So just a few points between each team. So this is anybody's league, anybody's game. But you can't. That means you have little room for error, as much as these guys do. So somebody goes on a hot streak and you don't. So you don't have the kind of cushion we had as much going in last year, especially with the Mets right behind us. Blue Jays right now are just wowing people. They're 9-1 in the last 10 games. Tops in the American League at a 581 winning clip. I mean, the Yankees are 5-5 in their last 10 games, and the Red Sox are 9-1. So they're playing a little catch up behind the Yankees. So the Yankees are 1.5 games behind the Blue Jays. It's 4.5 games for the Sox, 5 games for the Rays, and 11 games for the Orioles. But the Orioles are playing a little better lately too. They're 7-3 in their last 10. So the American League East can still be very competitive. Now the West, or I'm sorry, the Central, a little different. Tigers are 12.5 games above the Twins, 13 games above the Royals, 14 games above the Guardians, and 27 games against the White Sox. So they have a nice little cushion there for the most part, outside of really falling apart. That American League Central is pretty handed right now. Astros are top of the West with the Mariners 6 games behind them, Rangers 8.5 games, Angels 9.5, and Athletics 16.5. So again, what does this all mean? Nothing right now. But overall, little room for error. And you need to start to get better at. I mean, we all know what it is. This team knows what it is, but the team, can they do it? Can they rally themselves? Can they fix internally the small things that these guys individually need to do? Because you're not retooling the entire team. You're going to bring some guy in, but one guy who can hit better than Max Kepler, it's not going to fix everything. You need Bryce Harper. We're giving him a little leeway because he's just coming back. But I'll be honest with you, I'm a little nervous with Bryce Harper. I don't know. Maybe this injury is going to linger a little bit more, and he's not going to be the same Bryce that we're used to having. We'll find out. Let's go Mets. It's always one of the bunch. We'll see. D-Rails 93. Hit that subscribe button. I want to talk more September, October, especially, and then we'll see where we're at. I know you guys had a little bit of grandstanding last season. We'll see if the tides change back to the way it used to be. We'll find out. But you Mets won tonight, still a half game behind the Phillies, even though we lost. So it's anybody's league or division right now. But as I said, you have opportunity now. Get through this, win this series, but go rest, lick your wounds. And be honest with you, I want to quickly ask anybody: am I the only person who doesn't want to see their players go to the All-Star game or go to the Home Run Derby? Am I the only guy who really? I mean, I remember back in the day when I was a kid, like, yeah, it was so cool to watch your favorite players go participate in those games or the Home Run Derby or the All-Star game. But this day and age, like old man Al, no, I prefer not, because I want my guys to get healthy. I want to take this rest moment because I don't care about that kind of stuff. I care about the long run, and the long run now is winning the World Series. Nothing less. Everything else there's nothing left. Anything is an abject failure at that point. I won a World Series. That's all I want. Maybe because the Eagles won, I'm being selfish, but no. Even if the Eagles didn't win, I wouldn't change much. Maybe if the Eagles didn't win, I'd probably be even more hungrier for it. But no, I mean, I'm hungry for it. This team has the payroll, has the abilities, maybe a couple tweaks, bring a couple other arms for the bullpen. I hope. I don't want to see Jose Alvarado. I really don't know. Like, is it me being petty with Jose Alvarado? Like, do I really want him to be back for 6 weeks and then we can't use him? Because I'd rather see guys in positions to see what they can do when it comes down to it. Because he's not going to be here for the postseason. I mean, if anything, if they can, I don't know if they can even trade him. I don't know how that works. Al, it's still a privilege to be an all-star no matter how you look at it. Come on. I'm not sitting there saying it's not a privilege, Dave. You see, again, you only hear part of what I said. It is a privilege, and it was always something to look forward to. And I do, even as an adult, look forward to it a little bit. But I'm talking about now is the main, keeping the main thing, right? Steal from Jalen Hurts, winning a championship. And if that means not pitching in an all-star break or not hitting in a home run derby, allowing them to rest and reset, recalibrate, and be fresh and ready to go for that second. Because we forget this. Like, this isn't the important part. I mean, baseball is a long season, Dave. Baseball is a very long season, 162 games, as you well know, right? 162 games. So now you're past the halfway point. The All-Star break, we consider it the halfway point of the season, but we're from 162 games, we're past that. Okay? So right now, I'm more worried about my team being healthy, Dave. I'm not, you don't need to come on. I know it's a privilege. Those words never came out of my mouth, that it's not a privilege and it's not a feat. And I know there's a payroll boost or bumper, whatever you want to call it, for some guys. You know, maybe guys like Harper or Wheeler who make, you know, sick money, maybe not as important to them from a financial standpoint. You know, maybe a guy like Brandon Marsh or somebody, you know, like that, who's on a 1-year contract or you know, making league minimums or whatever. You know, and they have a great, you know, and they want to keep it going. I get that. There's nothing wrong with that. But right now, I'm keeping the main thing. The main thing is to win a World Series. So if Zach Wheeler, and why are you coming at me like that? Because even Zach Wheeler is the one who made that decision. I didn't make it for him. I didn't say, hey, Zach, you're an idiot. Don't go. And he's like, okay, I'm not going to go. You're right. No. We're on the same wavelength, me and Zach Wheeler. I'm okay saying, I said I'm okay with my guys not participating. I'm okay with that. If that means not worrying about, you know, giving guys a chance to get healthier, like especially like Bryce Harper, because we all know he's still kind of working through some stuff there. It's not just getting himself back. There's still probably some aches and pains with the way he swings and all that in the situation. If giving him this week break to kind of rest, relax, get some home cooking, and you know, go spend a little time with the family, also clear his mind and reset and be ready not to leave runners in scoring position, not to keep the bases loaded come in the end of July, August, and September, then that's what I want. Would I like to have both things? Would I like to have my cake and eat it too? Kind of like, you know, we were talking about this a lot with the Eagles, Dave. We talked about this a lot with the Eagles. Jalen Hurts. We were saying, like, would you think he would prefer to win a Super Bowl or win the MVP? Obviously, it's a Super Bowl. So that's the same thing with these guys. A lot of these guys are getting paid. A lot of these guys have been all-stars before. Keeping the main thing, and it's all about winning. Nothing less. You know, I might even start to sound like Matty B a little bit here, but nothing less. I think this team has the foundation and the chunks of pieces that they need to do it. But ultimately, there's still some pieces that need to be brought in and some things that need to be worked on internally with these guys to do so. Couldn't imagine bases loaded and you drive that shit into the dirt 5 feet in front of the batter's box. Listen, and honestly, I don't hate it because, listen, everybody's sitting back for Castellanos. They're waiting for him to try to whale the ball out in the outfield. It's just where it went 5 feet, yes. If that thing was a little to the right or even to the left, Turner probably scores on that. Alert. I'm going to say alert. So I'm okay with that, like a swinging bunt. Guys can score on that. I'm okay. I don't care where the ball lands, get a guy across. But yeah, he couldn't get a little bit more in front of him. It's just, that's the slap in the face. More, it's not so much that the ball got hit 5 feet in front of him. I'll take a dribbler for a single or a dribbler for a trade, you know, a sack. It's just that you had two guys, you had bases loaded, one out, and you couldn't get anybody across. Alert. That's the problem. That's the part that kills you. So Wheeler blowing off to pitching in the inning of an inning in All-Star game is wrong. One inning is not going to hurt him. Seriously, Dave, you're not getting it. You are just not getting it. It's like talking to my kid over here, bud. I love you to death, but you're not getting it. My point is, it's not about one inning. There's a lot of other stuff that goes on in All-Star break. This isn't a little kid's All-Star game, okay? This isn't like mom and dad bring you to the park and you play for one afternoon. That's a different story. These guys have to fly out to Atlanta, be in Atlanta for days, do all the pomp and media circumstance that comes with it. I've covered All-Star games. I've been there. There's a lot of stuff, just like a NFL draft. Maybe not as big and illustrious as that, but same thing. A lot of the days of doing this, days of doing that. I'm talking going home, clearing their mind, licking their wounds, being with their families, because like I said, this is it. You're sprinting now. Well, we talk about from April, May, and into June into July to the All-Star break is about, it's a long game, it's a long season, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Well, that's starting to change. That marathon is turning into a lap or two, which is going to turn into a sprint very shortly. So if you can give my guy, like take Zach Wheeler, for instance, the opportunity to go home and just clear his mind and not have to think about baseball for a week, which allows him to just come out and be healthy and just keep pitching the way he is, then so friggin' be it. Give it up. He's giving up the opportunity. And obviously, Dave, here's the thing is, neither you nor I are a all-star pitcher for Major League Baseball or a pitcher for Major League Baseball. We can't even clean the seats at a Major League Baseball game. But Zach Wheeler seems fit enough to not go because he wants to rest. He wants to be with his family because he knows, because he is the kind of guy. What do we talk about Zach Wheeler? His focus, we put him up there with Roy Halladay, right? We talk about this all the time. How Roy Halladay was just in the zone. Zach Wheeler's the same way. I covered him. He's not the kind of guy that talks during his game until his post game. He's the kind of guy when he puts his headsets in and he's doing his warm ups and he's doing his thing. You're not there. Nobody's around him. The stadium could be on fire. Comments could be raining down from the heavens, leaving craters in the field. And he's just doing his thing because that's the way he is. So if he feels it's right, I agree with him because he knows what it takes. He knows what it needs to be. It's not blowing off an inning or two to pitch. It's the immediate pomp and circumstance. It allows him to go home and work with things, maybe even work with his teammates. I don't know. Whatever he needs to do, he's going to do. But he thought it wise enough for him to skip it. And like I said, I agree. It is a privilege to be part of an all-star game. It means that up until this point, halfway through the Phillies, and here's the thing about the all-star games a little bit. Think about it. It's pretty much you're a really good player for half of a season for baseball, for basketball, for hockey. Football is the only one that does it at the end of the season, after the season's over. So, there's a lot of guys who become all-stars and go to all-star games, and then after they come back, we saw with Alec Boehm. Alec Boehm was lighting the world on fire in 2024. And since then, following that, he was mediocre or worse. So that could also, throw him off. So I like the fact that he's going to go just take a break. Let guys listen. We got guys who are getting old. We know guys like Ranger who can have injury issues. Bryce Harper, who we know has been dealing with injuries. And like I said, I'm okay with them not making it because I just prefer my guy to be rested for that sprint that's known as the second half of Major League Baseball or the post All-Star break. Because here's the other thing is, don't forget, they're going to have turnover in their locker room. It's got to be an emotional toll on these guys. You guys, you build camaraderies with, like I take a Max Kepler, for instance, Dave. So over the next couple of weeks, they're going to come in, and there's going to be guys that aren't going to be there anymore. They're going to have to demote them. They're going to have to let them release them or trade them or whatever it is going to happen. So that's also an emotional toll that comes in with it. So, yes, it is a privilege. I am agreeing with you. And if everything is great, grand, and wonderful, I would like to have both. I would like to see them play and still be stellar into the second half. But if I only could choose one, sorry, All-Star game. All-Star game's a fluffer, dude. It's a fluff game. It is what it is. And I love, of all the All-Star games, All-Star for the four major professionals, baseball's my favorite. Hockey right behind it with the skills. Basketball used to be with the skills. The dunk contest kind of fun. Football's the worst. The skills contest made it a little better, but the Pro Bowl, whatever you want to call it, it's fluff, dude. It's all fluff. It means nothing. There's no reward to the risk. So why is it wrong for me to feel that I'm okay with my guys not being in there? Would I like my guys to be in there? Sure. But we saw how that happened. We had a lot of all-star guys. A lot of guys go to the all-star game last year. And this team shit the bed. I'm going to yell out from Matty B or the censorship here. It's a wrap. But literally shit the bed last postseason. So if the difference between that is an all-star break, then so be it. Dave, I love your opinions. I do, and I love talking with you. But with this one, I'm sticking to it. It's not a come-on moment. It's not me being overreactive. It's not me being anything. I'm just saying I prefer my guys get rest, recalibrate, and do whatever they need to do during this all-star break, then go to the pomp and circumstance game, the fluff game known as the MLB All-Star game or the Home Run Derby. Okay? That's all I'm saying. So, guys, that'll all be what I'll say for tonight. 12:47 in the morning. Go get some rest. You have another games tomorrow, of course, to go. Actually, let me tell you right now. That is. Why don't I not have this? Oh, here it is. Sorry. Phillies take on the Padres at 7:35 p.m. tomorrow. So 7:35 for the Phils. So that means 10:30-ish. You'll have Matty B tomorrow. And then, of course, Sunday will be a 4:10 game. It's a 4:10 game on Sunday. Al, the London trip killed the Phils. Well, that London trip killed the Phils. You know it to be true. I said that. I mean, I disagree with that. I actually got a lot of heat from people saying that, that the team, they were on a long road trip before, then they went to London, and there's a lot of pomp and circumstance with that. But at the very least, Dave, with the London trip, these were meaningful games meaningful to the season, right? So at least when they got a little worn out from that London trip, there was at least they were playing meaningful games. This All-Star game has zero meaning to it. But that's my point is. So they had the London trip, they had the All-Star break. It was a disaster in some ways for some things. So I'm okay that I'm not getting any London trips this year. And obviously not doing any London games. So I don't know what you meant by that, if you're just like giving me a fact. But I'm telling you, I'm not disagreeing with that. That London trip in the long run was no good for them. And happening before the All-Star break, and then having guys have to go to the All-Star break and be All-Stars and pomp and circumstance around that, But other than that, guys, enjoy the rest of your night. Go get some rest. You have more Phillies baseball coming at you tomorrow. More sports here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Other than that, guys, enjoy your night. I'm Big Al, and I will see you next time.